Hey guys, this is Amy at the Crafty Cottage. I am going to show you a quick little technique that I learned. I think it was off her name is Sherry, and I love the way this came out. So vintagey, so pretty. It can be done on white, it can be done very vanilla would probably be the best, but I've got some extra scrap whisper white cardstock that I'm going to show you this technique, and it is just primo beautiful. I love it. I hope you love it like I do. And I know it's a celebration stamp set that I'm using, but it would be wonderful to use it with any kind of stamp set that you have around your stamp room. And coloring it in with these techniques is just makes it sparkly, fun, and gorgeous. And then adding the foils onto it just makes it wow. So I'm going to flip you over and we're going to show you this quick, simple little technique. Okay, so here's my workspace. I'm going to use a touch of ink, which I've got this glare right here, and I'm trying to get my, let's see if we can just change the color here. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, we've got touch of ink. This is the stamps that I'm going to be using, and I'm not going to use the color behind it. I'm going to color them in. And I'm only going to use these two images, the flower and the leaves. Now, you could probably use some of the leaves from Forever Greenery. That would probably be beautiful for the leaves. You could use any of your floral stamp sets to do this. It would be great. I'm just going to pull these two out. And this is just such a beautiful, beautiful piece. This is the card that we're doing. We're not going to do the whole card. I'm just going to show you how to color it. This is the card. And as you can see on the pictures, that foil with that flash kind of gets in the way. But look how stunningly gorgeous this is. I'm going to put it really close. You see all that sparkle in there? And how pretty that looks? This is fun, and it's pretty. So if you're into those sparkly things, this would be a great way to do it. I'm going to start with my stamps. I'm going to start with the leaves, or actually the flowers. And I'm just using soft suede as my ink color, just to stamp it. And we're going to randomly stamp these images everywhere on the cardstock. Now remember, you're going to leave some room. Oops, I did a little boo-boo there. But that's okay. If we're going to cut this out, you would never notice that. And we're going to save room for our leaves as well. I'm going to do maybe one more flower. And then add some leaves. So randomly put those around. I'm going to just put my leaves on the back of this and stamp these on. Well, I don't know that I want to do that because it might be a little difficult to see where I'm putting this. So I'm going to put some leaves here. Try not to overlap them too much. And I'm also trying to keep myself up enough that you can see what I'm doing here. It's one thing about doing my videos. All the way on here. You're just going to stamp this randomly around. That's the one thing about these polymers. I really should have a foam piece underneath, so that way you would get a better stamped image. There we go. I'm going to leave it at that. Now I might take my flowers and add just a few more in some spots. Another little flower here. And if they're a little lighter in some spots, that's perfectly okay. I think it adds to the beauty of it. Okay, I really would love to put one there, but it's too close. So I'm not going to worry about putting any more. That's all of the stamped images I'm going to do. Now, when I did this one, I actually kind of made sure I was putting them like half and half because I wasn't going to use the whole sheet. I'm probably going to turn around and use this whole sheet on this card. So that will be a lot of fun. Now, I'm going to use Blush Bride ink color. I'm also using, since I ran out of my shimmer white, my shimmer all-purpose shimmer paint. I ran out of it, but I'm going to be using some of the rose gold that we used to carry. some retired stuff. And then I'm also using some of this Crema Coat. You can water this down a little bit if you'd like. You can put some alcohol in it if you'd like. That would make it dry faster, but I find that it doesn't take very long to dry. And I don't add any water to it because I don't use a whole lot of it. So I'm going to take just a little of this and put it in one of my wells. You could just do a capful if you'd like. And you really don't need a lot. See how much I've got? Just this drop in there. Now this one's dried up because I didn't take it out. That's my bad. So let's see. It's nice enough that if you forget, it just pulls right up. The beautiful thing about acrylic paints. Now this one I'm going to shake up really well. And when I'm getting ready for it, I'm just going to flip it over and use what's inside the lid. But I'm not quite ready for it yet. So I'm going to take a paintbrush. Actually, no, you don't need a paintbrush. I have an old empty Wink of Stella, and I'm looking for it. I have it marked. So I'm looking for that one. And I don't know where it went. It disappeared on me. Okay. So you're going to take clear Wink of Stella. And this is an old retired pen. And I don't have any left in it, so there's no color coming out. I mean, it's just clear anyway, but there's residual of my Wink of Stella in there. So what we're going to do is I've got my pink. Now you could put some of this as a re-inker somewhere and do it that way if you like, but I'm going to just swirl it here like this, and I'm going to go to my flowers, start in the centers, and come out and just color this. And you don't have to worry about adding any squeeze to it. You could fill it with water if you could figure out how to open it. I have not done that yet. And I'm literally just coloring in these flowers like I would normally. And see how pretty they look? And then it gives it a little bit of shimmer to it as well. See the shimmer? Can you kind of see that? I know you won't be able to see it very well because there you go. There you go. So it's just a little shimmer with your Wink of Stella. An old Wink of Stella. Remember, make sure you use an old Wink of Stella. And I love how it just kind of blends it out. So you see color, but you don't see color everywhere. And I like to go dark in the insides and then blend it out. I don't know if you can, yeah, you should be able to see this. But you start in the inside and work your way out so that it's not all super, super dark. Now that I've got that flower, I'm going to do the flower in the center too, just so you can see. And I'm going to come up here, I'm going to start this one the same way, and then just keep adding, and then just add from the centers and bring it out. And you see that it sort of carries that pink all the way out till there is no more. And I do very little color because I don't want to be all so dark. So I'm adding very little color and pulling it in so it comes in here. Little color here. Do just a little more color, start from the center, work my way out. Just a little more. Good. There we go. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to keep running my brush until I kind of clean it out. You can use a wet paper towel, whatever works for you. I'm going to stop with the Wink of Stella there. And I'm going to get my paintbrush out because I think that's going to work better with this. You could do this with your acrylic paint since it's a retired one and just go from your acrylic right on. But I don't want to do that yet. So I'm going to get my paintbrush, which I just had here a little while ago. Here it is. It's a little bit big. I need to get me some new paintbrushes, but this one should work just fine. You're going to take just a tiny, tiny bit of paint, and we're going to paint these leaves. Now these leaves are going to pull in some of this brown color, and it's going to be okay. And actually, I don't like that. I'm going to go ahead and use my wink. And again, you're going to use very little of this paint. And you're just going to pull this in, and it's going to rub in and pull some of that brown out. And like I am like barely pulling any out, if you can see that. And you're going to pull it in and then just rub it along your lines of your leaves and then over the whole thing. And you can use your old Wink of Stella brush. This is a great way to use up that wink and make sure you get all the Wink of Stella out of there. Because, you know, all that glitter is like super fun and super pretty. And this gives it an extra shimmer to it and another layer of it because there's not a lot of wink left in this. I mean, even if you were to use your regular Wink of Stella that had wink in it, I really don't think it would hurt it. So I'm going to do one more leaf for you so you can see. And again, very little. Just come right in here along your leaf lines and just rub it in. You don't have to color the whole thing because it doesn't have to be. You could do this on very vanilla cardstock. Probably look a lot better with the colors. Probably be a lot more vintagey. And you could do this with any other color as well. There you go. I'm going to do just the rest of this little leaf section here. And we'll color these in. There we go. Now with this, because you've used the other color, you want to really make sure that you clean it off with some good water and make sure that you don't ruin that Wink of Stella brush because these brushes are excellent for doing this. And I'm going to make sure it's really clean. It's not stuck together before I put it back. All right, so now you can see the ones that I've colored this way. It makes these nice and shiny and shimmery and almost like mother of pearl. And then our flowers are shimmery and shiny. And now you're asking, well, what about this? This is how I got that deeper section of my flowers. I have this and I'm going back to the same brush. And I'm again going to take just a very teeny tiny bit on my brush. And I'm going to go into my flowers here and kind of pull it out. Just in the very center so that my very centers are really dark. And really just that little bit that I took was just enough to do both the flowers that I did. And that's it. Brush it out. So you clean that brush really, really well. Make sure you always clean your brush because it can be a nightmare if you don't. So there you go. That's it. A shimmery, shiny, beautiful card base that you've made your own DSP that is absolutely gorgeous. And this was the card I made with that. And I punched this out with Tasteful Labels dies. And I added some embellishments. And it's on top of our Love You Always foiled DSP. This is the Blushing Bride to match my flowers. And that's it with some mint macaron behind it. And it's just stunningly gorgeous. I hope you enjoyed that. And let me put you back to the top. And I hope you enjoyed it a lot. And I can't wait to do a whole page of this and have this beautiful DSP. So maybe I'll make some and send it out to some of my friendly, wonderful customers. So I'll see you next time. But bye, guys.